CARICOM renews CSME implementation efforts. iFlutter State back online. CARICOM to revamp Petro-Caribe deal. And IDB only funds green energy projects. I'm Enrico Bolford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. CARICOM leaders have again recommitted themselves for the umpteenth time to increase the speed of the implementation of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, or CSME. Following the close of this week's Head of Government meeting in Suriname, they expanded the free movement categories under the CSME to include household domestic workers, agricultural workers, and private security officers. Meanwhile, a subcommittee will examine how to enable member states to implement the principle of mutual recognition of any company incorporated in another CARICOM member state. According to the head of CANU, James Singh, for the first half of 2022, CANU seized 4,933 pounds of cannabis, representing a 475% increase in seizures when compared to the same period in 2021. Additionally, the seizure of over 196 pounds of cocaine represents an 800% increase. They only seized 11 pounds during the first half of 2021. As for ecstasy, less than half a kilo was intercepted. According to information received, 62 cases were made out against drug traffickers with 22 convictions to date. CANU has seized 16 firearms for the year thus far. The iFlutter State factory team successfully completed machinery and steam trials with the installation of the new gearbox, a critical part of the factory's operation. Management will consult with workers in preparation for burning the fields this week, after which grinding is expected to begin if favorable weather permits. iFlutter State management and staff are working towards a productive second crop of 2022 after failing to produce a first crop because of, well, all the months of downtime from the damaged gearbox. The indigenous community of Chinese Landing in Region 1 and the Wapicha Nation of South Rupununi have complained to the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination on the government and minors' repeated violations of the Amerindian Act of 2006. They said that gold miners were granted permission to operate on titled, customary, and sacred lands within their communities. This had triggered a response from the committee. One Guyana has yet to respond. However, Starbuck News is telling us that Gail Teixeira says that the government may have to seek an extension, as the deadline to respond is July 15. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Suzuki Jimmy Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, park camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $3.4 million. All pay as low as $700,000 down, with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peterborough Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Enrico sent you for this sweet deal. 22-year-old fisherman A.J. Ali died on Monday in an accident at Success on the East Coast. Reports are that Ali was attempting to cross the road when he was hit by a car driven by Kumar Prasad. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, Prasad is still in police custody. On Monday night, 41-year-old minor Ryan Joseph was allegedly chopped and beaten by his co-workers during a row over alcohol at a back dam in Region 7. Though he was severely injured since Monday evening, the man is now seeking transportation from the Peruni Landing in Region 7 to receive actual medical treatment. It is unclear why they waited until now to escort the injured man to a medical facility. Well, probably because they beat him. Old folks rejoice. Minister Vindhya Prasad has announced that pensioners will be able to uplift their 2023 pension books beginning mid-August to December of this year. She said the early distribution is part of efforts to ensure easy access to pensions for senior citizens. She explained that ministry officials will visit communities to make distributions. Apart from the post offices, they can now receive their pensions at Western Union and MoneyGram, and even their personal bank account. So no more having to punish waiting all day in line at the post office. Guyanese are known for many things, and cheapness is one of them. Thankfully, you could be cheap and still get high-quality DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell truck parts for low prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for today's oil update. CARICOM has decided to restart the Petrocaribe program with Venezuela, in a move St. Vincent Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves described as a measure to counter the ever-rising cost of importing fuel to the region. They've also called for the end to the U.S. sanctions that brought the program to an end in the first place. This is expected to apply to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States and several other countries within CARICOM. But Gonsalves did not specify which ones. However, Venezuela has already agreed to give a 35% discount on fuel sold. Prior to 2015, Guyana imported close to half of its oil through this arrangement in exchange for cash and our paddy, as well as polished rice. But this agreement fell apart in 2015 after we found oil and Venezuela started to become haters. Recently, the president had touted a new regional energy security plan using Guyana and Suriname's oil and gas. However, neither Gonsalves nor Suriname's President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi made any mention of said energy plan during the closing remarks of this year's CARICOM meeting. Now for our stupid news of the day. Recently, the IDP rejected financing for our gas-to-energy project, citing an international push to go green. Fair enough. They are actually shelling out millions for green energy projects, including a recent approval for over $185 million to directly finance over 450 megawatts of solar power for residential homes in India. Locally, the IDP approved $83.3 million in funding for Guyana to increase our solar power generating capacity by 34 megawatts across the nation. Despite this, we are rushing to spend over $1.3 billion to build a gas-to-energy project that will supply the grid with some 250 megawatts with funds that we'll have to pay back over the next 20 years. Then, we're going to spend another $1 billion on a 175 megawatt hydropower plant at Amila Falls. $2.3 billion to produce 425 megawatts of power. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against using our natural gas in a way that is most beneficial to all Guyanese. Nor am I against using our hydro resources in a responsible way that again makes sense for all Guyanese. But we have to ask ourselves, are we truly getting the maximum benefit for our money spent through these projects? Now I've got a set of smart people who watch this show, so maybe one of you could tell me, because the arguments I've heard so far sound pretty stupid. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday, I asked about how do you feel about the current round of Rona shots for children. Do you think it's still necessary at this point? Alvin Henaro says, I don't think it's worth it. Meanwhile, Richie K says, as a Pfizer shareholder, I not only think children should receive 3 coronavirus vaccines, but all pets, fish, and livestock as well. Ha-ha! You have what they call a vested interest in keeping that gravy train going then. So, before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. How do you feel about CARICOM's renewal of the Petrocaribe deal? Is it just a matter of business so they'll save money? Or does it represent a political change in CARICOM? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.